All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Reynor in the top right side of the map to kick off Group D. It's a group that's wide open, and he's playing Bunny. I'm wondering if Bunny's going to bring out Command Center first. He has a big history of hitting Reynor with Command Center first into timing attacks, but no, it's going to be Barracks first. Okay. It's so funny because I feel like Bunny has brought that back so many times over the years. And it looks like he's going to start off a little bit more straightforward. Now, keep in mind, Reynor had a best of 7 against Beyond a few weeks ago in, I think it was the Basilisk Big Brain bouts. Very close match. I think Beyond barely won that 4-3, right, guys? I think, or 3-2. Sorry, it was best of 5, I believe. 3-2. Very close match, though. And I'm sure there was a lot of studying that done by Bunny to see what he could get done. Now, Reynor, of course, is just very, very solid in this matchup. But I would say he has one big problem, right? And that is, it's a combination of a lack of scouting, greed, and extreme tiltability. And I know that's, it seems like, well, that's 3 things, but they combine together to create, Reynor was basically unbeatable in this matchup in 2021. The only player who was ever able to beat Reynor really for a while was Maru in this matchup, and that was purely because his late game was so much better than Reynor's. But early game, mid game, Reynor is a force to be reckoned with. He is an absolute monster. When he's feeling it and he plays with no fear, doesn't care about dropping maps, doesn't care about his all-ins not working, is willing to go to 100 drones when most players wouldn't feel comfortable going past 70 drones, will YOLO Banes and Lings in your base, dance around you, and he will pull off moves that nobody else will pull off. But Reynor gets in trouble when he second guesses himself. When he gets hit by an 8-Rax, catches him off guard, barely gets overwhelmed, he gets kind of tilted by it, and then sometimes he plays scared. And the worst version of Reynor we've ever seen in this matchup was Scared Reynor when he played his last GSL attempt. He's qualified for another GSL recently, so we're going to see if he can turn that story around. But his last one, he got wrecked by Gumiho playing very scared Zerg versus Terran. He was playing so safe that he kind of put himself behind, and then delayed timing attacks were catching him off guard because he was already over preparing for the early game. We'll see if Bunny can kind of get that sort of situation, do an 8-Rax game 1, tilt Reynor, and then finish the series off. It is going to be a Command Center on the high ground incredibly quickly. What is this? 3cc, 3 racks behind the Reaper expand. Ladies and gentlemen, Bunny is almost certainly going to do an 8-Rax. Hero Marine has a build off of this opening that he did a few years ago. You can go 8 barracks off this. It's insanely hard to stop because you're going to have your 1-1 upgrades, and then you can even do 2-2 off this. But I think if you go single engineering bay into like, so you go factory starport next, then you go single eBay, and while medevac marine harassing, you can actually go for like an 8-Rax marine tank medevac all in with 1-1 upgrades, never even thinking about getting 2-2 off of this crazy fast third command center. That's what I'm thinking about. I don't know if that's what Bunny's got in mind, but he's definitely being greedy. And this is something where Reynor, when he's playing his best, he does mix in some dirty Ling Bane all-ins and things like that, and they would be a free win against this build. But Bunny is making a read. He's saying, I don't think you're going to risk that in game 1. I might have to play safer in game 2 and game 3, but game 1, nah, we can get away with everything. No Hellions, nothing but a handful of Marines, delayed stim, massive work of production. Now, Reynor's got good macro as well. It's not like, oh, he's going to struggle, you know, to build any units, but there's a different level. When you play against this sort of build, this is like, it harks back to Bomber, right? Factory, as we said. Factory, starport. And I think single eBay would be good. Obviously, more standard would be double eBay, but if we see one eBay go down at once, then that's 100% the build that I mentioned. So that would be the tell that he's committing 100%. But Hero Marine had that build. Reynor needs a 4th, and he needs to realize that there's going to be so much Terran that Bunny can push through creep. Like, normally Terrans don't like fighting on creep, but Bunny will have enough stuff to do that. Bang the Nest is on the way, Lair as well. Marines there on the north side. That's right, guys. Later today, we've got Dark Astrea in the next match. And, of course, winners match, losers matches, and a final decider. The winners match and the final decider, the ones that actually send people through to the playoffs, will both be best of 5s. So 3 best of 3s into 2 best of 5s. And look at this. Marine timing already coming forward with Stim and 25 Marines at 5 minutes. That's going to force Reynor into a lot more Zerglings. He doesn't seem to realize this. Is Reynor even watching? Ooh. That's a lot of Marines on his front. Remember, guys, Reynor's in Korea right now. They're both playing on the Korean server with no lag. Micro is going to be very possible. Reynor does not have the numbers to deal with this, I don't think. Overlord already goes down. Queens are trying to help this. The Lings do pull back. And very cautious play by Bunny. Actually think he might have been able to commit and get the queens, but it's very risky. You don't know how many more Zerglings are about to pop out, so kind of better to make the safe play there. Does stim to the right, gets one more creep trimmer. At the same time, Ling's coming. All right, 2 SCVs, very nice. Just a small tactical backstab. Gets a few Marines down here as well. Bunny accidentally splitting. And Reynor. Good plays so far. Carapace comes in nice and early. Can't quite afford the melee just yet. He's got the 100 gas now, and his 4th hatchery's on the way just below that. Now, these sort of pressures are really good for stopping the Zerg from holding down the drone key, but at the same time, it's been double engineering bay, so it's not going to be that 1-1-8 barracks that I talked about. It is a 4 gas build. I think with that 1-1 build, you could probably do it all off 3 gas. With the double E bay, tells you you have a lot of options here as Bunny. And I think for everyone watching, we expect 2 reactors to go down. And then we've got to, we're just waiting, because we're like, in this next 30 seconds, we're going to find out how much Bunny's committing. Do we see 3 more barracks? He's still building SCVs. Is he going to stop now? Armory does go down. He wants to go for 2-2. Does feel like it could go either way. 4th command center, 2nd factory would mean it's a long-term game plan. 3 more barracks means it's very aggressive. Comes in, gets another few SCVs. Reynor being nice and annoying with those backstabs, but he's stuck on 61 workers. Is Reynor perhaps a little paranoid after this early game? Reynor really loves having the economy advantage in this matchup, and right now, sitting at even with the Terran doesn't feel great. I think he's going to have to use his mobility. I think what's going to have to happen is when Bunny pushes, he'll have to counterattack. I don't think fighting front on will work in this situation unless he gets like the perfect engage. Because just the way it works out, Bunny's going to push at the moment when his army's strongest. And he's going 7 barracks, by the way. I thought it would be 8. It's just 7 barracks. Usually you would go 2 more. 2-2 starts up. But yeah, if he offers you a fight right when his 2-2 finishes, for instance, you do not want to fight. So the reason why you want to counterattack a lot is specifically to force the Terran to pull back, waste his time a little bit, and then when the fight actually happens, you can catch up on that. +2 Carapace starts instantly. It's not far behind. That's the most important upgrade. That's really big. Reynor on point, but his creep is getting cleared up right now. 11 Marines are on the way. That's right, guys. It is Marine production. It is a very committed 7 barracks attack coming out of Bunny. Bunny is going to go for broke. We know that Reynor is weak to these builds. He's historically struggled with them. He gets frustrated by them. He thinks they're a little bit overpowered. I don't know if it's super powerful on ley lines. I'd love to see a counter coming in, but he doesn't seem to realize it's happening. Reynor clumping his whole army. Not usually the ideal way of fighting this. Normally you want to split up and come in from 2 sides. The fact that he clumped his army there, I think, is the opposite of what you want to do here. But look, there we go. Now, yeah, he knows what's happening. You know this is coming with Bunny. Bunny's such a timing attack master, but Reynor, he's prepared. He's splitting his army to the left and the right. I'd love to have some more units coming from this ramp and the south as well, but I honestly think Bunny is going to need god tier Marine micro to avoid those Banelings. Look at how far forward he moves with these Marines. Crazy move from Bunny, and that is going to trigger Reynor to jump on top. Those tanks are so exposed. Bunny went too far forward there. Reynor with fantastic patience. He waited for Bunny to step too far forwards, and then he pounced, and removing those tanks is a game changer. 2 siege tanks went down. No, there was 3 siege tanks that died. One of them must have died to friendly fire from one of its other tanks. His 3 tanks did. Oh, the burrowed Banelings! I didn't even see that burrow. He just killed another 12 Marines there moving forward. Reynor styling right now. Darth Reynor there. He was pitch black, just a silhouette when he first joined that camera feed at the start of today while we're getting the show ready. We knew he was ready with ill intents, and he seems to be very well prepared for this series. Ling Bane marching forward. Bunny, he's got nothing but Marines. 1 tank on the left is so important to keep alive, but the Lings are already on top of it. 2-2, not having time to finish. The 2-2 upgrades for Terran are going to finish right after his entire army dies. That is a disaster, mate. The Banelings getting big hits on those SCVs. Tank on the high ground starts to shell. But Reynor, he anticipated this. He's had such a big weakness to things like 8-Raxes. And I think it made perfect sense for Bunny to do this build, but Reynor prepared and managed to shut it down this time. And that is such an important moment for him. A player who's been struggling against Protoss a lot recently, beat Zaun in the qualifiers for GSL. Player who's struggled against timing attacks and Bunny specifically doing them, wins game 1 here. And it feels like a good start to this series for Reynor. All right, guys, we've got game 2 now. Nice start for Reynor. And this is very different to the Reynor that I'm used to seeing, because guys, remember, Reynor at his peak is not a super well-prepared player. we're going to go out on a limb and say Serral, super good at preparing. Reynor, he likes to rock up and see what happens and just play good StarCraft. If there's ever a guy who plays a tournament like a ladder game and has won world championships off it, it's Reynor, right? Like Reynor, he flows, he figures things out on the fly, he's intuitive, he's fast, and generally he will be able to outplay most players in the world. I think, you know, guys like Clem have been such a problem for Reynor specifically because he can go toe-to-toe and arguably maybe be even faster than Reynor in the mechanical game. And that's like, for Reynor, it's normally like, well, just don't get too screwed in the strategy and the build picking, and I'll just win with multitasking and speed and flair. But, you know, the Max Maxes, the Clems of this world have made that very difficult for him. And he's started to do a lot more preparation on his strategies. But he still has a big history of, like, I mean, you can look at his grand finals performance against Serral, where Serral beat him 4-3, 2022 IEM Katowice World Championship. And what was interesting there is he, on the final day, looked like he rolled out of bed after maybe having, I don't know if he'd had a beer or two or just didn't sleep well. He rocked up and Hero Marine started mauling him. It was like watching a bear just abuse a small child. He was picking him up, just smashing him against the wall. And then Reynor made like a sick comeback in the third game while down 0-2 and then like turned the series around. And that's not an unusual story for Reynor. Is like lose the first game in a best of 3 or lose the first 2 games in a best of 5. When he won his world championship, Reynor's world championship, if it was on LAN, if it wasn't during COVID when we were playing, you know, remotely, it would have been the most hype world championship of all time. I mean, his quarterfinals and semifinals were both like down one win, 2 losses, on the edge of getting defeated pretty much every series until the actual grand finals against Zest. But this is a different Reynor. Reynor who just shows up tight, organized, play game 1. Looked a little like Serral in that last game. That's, might be turning a new leaf. He has told me he's grinding pretty hard at the moment. I know that, I think he still likes to stream a little bit of League of Legends though, just to taunt the viewers who are like, oh, he doesn't care about StarCraft, he just streams LOL. But I don't think they realize that streaming an hour or 2 of League of Legends every few days doesn't mean that cuts into his practice time, seriously. I think he's just doing that for a bit of fun, mixing it in there. And I think he knows that the haters are going to keep teasing him about it, so he wants to keep giving them fuel to put on the fire. Reynor and Hero, two of the few players who will actually, you know, throw shade back at the audience when they criticize them from the sidelines. 3cc, 2-1-1 for Bunny. Very solid opening. So he's just going to go for 4 Hellions, I would imagine. Yeah, he'll swap off after 4. Poke around, look to deny creep. See what he can get done. This is Tokamak, by the way, this map. Reynor's sneaking a Hellion in, an Overlord in, sorry, behind the natural of Bunny, which is very cute. Three queens are on the way. It's going to be 7 queens for now. Back on gas in the main base. So he put back on pretty standard time, about 3.5 minutes. Maybe 3:40 is when those workers all got back on. Bunny does see the Overlord trying to sneak in the back door, but won't be able to kill that too easily. Actually, I think if you put a Marine on each side, I do think you can kill this. Yeah. So that Overlord, I mean, he could try to go back there, and I think he's thinking about it, but that Overlord's going to get caught. Marines should be able to deal with it. I know he goes back to the dead space. Nicely done. Chat says, why does Bunny look so upset? He's channeling the Artosa's superpower, guys. When your mouth looks like that, it makes you play much better. I've talked about this a few times over the last week, but I truly believe that as a Terran player, if you get a little bit angry, it helps you. I don't know why, but there's something about just having a little bit of like a cold flame, a little bit of anger flowing and stoke that fire. You don't want it to get out of control. You don't want to be the guy shouting about how the game's unfair and yada yada. But there's something about being these aggressive Terran players who are in their opponent's faces and just being a little bit fired up that can fuel you sometimes. I don't think he liked the way that first game went. Now, moving those Marines forward is really good. So he's now caught 2 Overlords, which is great. The Zergling, I think he sees the Marines there and the depots. He should know that there's a 3rd command center. Reynor is confidently droning in this scenario. He seems to have a good read. He's on 2 gases only as he goes to the 4th hatchery. Good call. 4th hatcheries and 5th hatcheries are very important in this matchup because they're actually production facilities. Remember, for a Zerg player, building a hatchery is not being greedy. It's building the drones for the hatchery that's greedy. Hatchery itself is part of your military production. Uh-oh, queens in the open. Oh, Reynor. Okay, the rocks do come down. He's going to gather these queens. He's got 9 queens. Does he bring them all to the front? No, he's just going to defend with the 7. Fifth base up here is exposed. Overlord will go down. Lings might want to wrap around, but with the Hellions there, it's going to be tough. That's an easy snipe. Reynor not canceling the hatchery. Yeah, he knows he should have. He saw that coming a few seconds away, but he was being stubborn. And you could see him. He looked a little tense there, realizing he just did an unnecessary doo-doo. Could have got 225 minerals returned. Say 225, sorry, 207. Still haven't adjusted to this patch. And then another castle for Bunny. I am studying Reynor's face right now. I feel like Bunny's frown is lessening. And Reynor, on the other hand, is twitching in his chair a little bit. Looks a little more stiff. I think Pig could take a map off Bunny. Well, yeah, I could take a map off any of these guys. Roofies do exist. You give a roofie to one of these guys, I'll take him on. If they're sober and care about the match and have something on the line, I might have a 0.2% chance, but yeah, if they're drunk or half asleep, maybe. Got 2 tanks coming forward into medevac. This is actually a pretty decent push timing. It's gonna be about 7.5 minutes that he hits. Where does he put the tanks though? I think tank here would be nice. Yeah, I think a tank there, or he could go for the far right and actually go tanks on the very edge would be really cool. He's gonna go for this position. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, Bunny. Okay, he's repositioning. He's thinking about going to the right side. Reynor's already ready for the counter. Reynor's up 10 workers. He's on 75 against 65, which is probably the perfect amount. And man, I feel like Reynor here, he's playing dark style economies, which is perfect against these very crisp timings that Bunny's setting up. And I think going for a counter is the correct idea. But there's a tank on the high ground, Marines on the low ground with medevacs. Might give this base up. It's such a hard position to fight into. I can't imagine breaking this is super worth it. He could go for it, but I think when he sees that tank on the ledge, he might have to just give this up because he's going to go for the counter. Reynor diving in. The Marines just picked up at the wrong time. Oh, he could find some big damage. The Lingbane splitting into these mineral lines. Let's see what he can do. Queens on the front do pull back at the same time, so he's not getting hammered there. He gets 14 workers, not bad. Keep in mind, that was a lot of Zergling Baneling. He killed just depots and 15 SCVs. Units lost. It's actually a decent trade for Bunny, but it's economy, right? Which does hurt Bunny in the long term, so it's going to stack up damage the longer this game goes. But right now, that doesn't give a massive advantage to Reynor. He unburrows Zerglings. Oh, he didn't clean it up. Bit of a mistake there for Bunny. I'd love to see Reynor take this base in the top left. The fact that he hasn't taken that means he's incredibly committed to defending, and that is an issue. 5 more SCVs go down. If Reynor just takes that hatchery up in the top left, he can give this up, and he should already be preparing for that. He's got the money, but he's being a little bit stubborn right now, and I think that can really cost a player in a situation like this. This is such a compromised location. He's trying to defend it with queens. Transfuses are good. I mean, he's got 12 queens, which is very good for holding, but I think he's going to have a lot of freedom if he prepares for the worst possibility. Right now, though, I think 76 drones to 55. He feels great about the income. Hatchery gets clicked on, and it does get taken out. Nice move for Bunny. Wait, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. Okay, the transfuse heals over time. He's going to click his Marines on it. The desperation from Bunny. And that does give away his tanks, maybe? No, Reynor was not ready to clear that up. And actually, Reynor is the one who loses out on that trade. Bunny there just did a silly move. Imagine if he already had a hatchery up here. That was 2 players getting locked in a stubborn war. I honestly think they both slightly misplayed there. Like, we are really seeing the identity of this matchup. They are both playing incredibly stubborn. Bunny overcommitted to that, but he got the value from it. And I think it's Reynor who's maybe a little more tilted. Finally, he does take this hatchery to the top left. And, I mean, he's still on 4 bases. He's fine economically as Reynor. Units lost tab. He is down 2,200. It's not the end of the world, but it's just one of those things where whenever a Terran has like a really entrenched position like that, it's always good to make them pay for it, but it's also good to not be committed. I think you have to leave your options open, and that's something where Reynor locked himself in maybe just a little too tight. Widow Mines are coming out now. Only 61 workers, though, for Bunny. And I think Bunny, he's got a 4th up at a good time, but does he have a 5th? Does he have, 3 on the way? That sort of stuff? No, he's got 7 barracks now. Looks like he's enjoying 7 rather than 8 barracks. Oh, these aren't well placed. I think you need those slightly to the right. Oh, that's tragic. Oh, but he walks over it! Holy moly! Sorry! Oh man, I hope my filter max is on my mic, because I apologize if I burst anyone's eardrums. That was like 25 Marines That was like almost the maximum you could possibly get there. Holy moly. Dude, I'm sorry, Bunny, I cast a cursed it. I criticized Reynor's Burrowed Baneling placement, and it immediately showed that it was the best placement it could possibly be. I apologize. That was just the universe putting me in my place, and you had to pay the price. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Bunny. That was tragic. That was a crazy, crazy boom boom right there. Reynor transfused that drone earlier, kept this one alive. He's losing the top left, though. I really think he just needs to counter. Because Bunny's committed so much to the corners, this is actually, there was a game where Maru was mauling Dark on site Delta, and he had a huge army on both flanks, and he was wrecking Dark, and Dark just F2'd into the production, and it was like the quickest, most brutal game win I've ever seen. And I think that's what, you see how careful Bunny's setups are on the flanks? If you have Mutalisks or Corruptors or something, you can probably shut these down maybe, but without that, it's really tough, and it feels like Reynor starting to make a few mistakes here. Oh, he's going to lose so many queens on the right. He's getting sieged on the left as well. The queens do burrow to avoid the damage. They're going to unburrow now, but dude, the medevacs do really, really well with that bio. He's losing gases on the top left as well. Reynor, he's looking a little stressed and frustrated here. I mean, he could overwhelm this position, but without Groove Spines, I don't think Hydras can kill those tanks from the high ground. This drop on the right side going to be a nuisance. Queen will finally take care of that medevac. Shift clicks it back to safety. Well done. Lings try to save the queen, but good focus fire for Bunny to seal the deal. Now, if Bunny can focus this hatchery down as well, it's going to keep Reynor on his initial 4 bases. And even though Reynor's being ahead on the income momentum, he's now going to be falling behind if he can't keep that 5th base up. Bunny doing such a good job in a less than ideal early game situation. He's now slowly transitioning to a macro game with mass command centers. The Widow Mine's there. Oh, doesn't quite land too big. It's mostly Zerglings. Reynor's Baneling's very far behind, and one has to feel like this anti-air needs to have arrived just a little bit earlier. Widowmine does get a good shot. 8 kills going down. Lingbane in the north going down as well. It's 6,000 resources lost in favor right now of Bunny. Bunny, his economy is not great. He's got 2 more orbitals coming in, or 2 more command centers. At least 1 will be an orbital. He's got an 8th barracks. He's got a Ghost Academy. He's getting the late game pieces, but he's doing it very gradually, very slowly. Reynor, though, he's on 5 bases. He's got Overlord speed. He's got the Lurker and Hydra upgrades coming in. But I do think he missed an opportunity, potentially, to overwhelm with just the kind of momentum he had by thrusting through the middle. But it's hard to find those windows when you got a guy like Bunny just mauling you from the right and the left at the same time. I think Bane Hydra's going to come forward. Hatchery. Oh, he's got, I mean, that's a crazy hatchery to try and secure with tanks still in the position that they are. Viper would shut this push down. I am amazed that Reynor hasn't done it. I know he's gas-starved right now, and I guess that's the reason, but he's literally having his gas denied right now, so if there was ever a moment to build a Viper, now is it. Reynor does take another Zergling smear from the Widow Mine. Planetary Bio easily going to defend this. Reynor's got to get out. Does force the base to lift. Gets a burrowed Zergling, which is annoying. Probably going to force another scan out of Bunny. Hasn't realized. And, I don't know, he takes out the Zergling just before that disappears. Double drop around the back. No spores on the edge. Reynor right now, he's got to scramble to defend. He's got a few Hydras popping out, which is very fortunate. Does he have enough Zerglings, though? No, he's pulled back to the front. Oh, okay. He's going to let this one unload. Bunny not watching momentarily, but he does quickly boost into the main. At the same time, army goes down their bottom side. Oh, holy Widow Mine. Okay. Right now, it's how well can Reynor remain calm in the stress of this matchup. He loses a hatchery. He does take out 2 medevacs, but he lost a hatchery there. Lings clear up the tanks. Banelings. 1 Baneling gets a good boom boom. Other one does finish off 8 of those damaged SCVs. It's not bad. Bunny's work account is still not great. He's starting to build more SCVs. But Reynor, it feels like he's getting pulled around this map a bit. Ooh, Lurker's in a good spot. Clearing the planetary mining. But the trading has really gone in favor of Bunny, and Reynor trying to deal with this push on the right side. The Marauders will get wrecked by the linked Hydra. But he doesn't get rid of the tank. Tank's kind of the biggest problem there. Lurker tries to shuffle to that right side. He can't afford to lose this base. He's got so much army because he never cleared that push in the top left. And Reynor just has not been able to get Bunny out of these frustrating positions here on Tokamak. Bunny playing Tokamak so nicely. Like, how is this still here? That's crazy. 54 kill Siege Tank, 39 Sergeant Chadhammer and his apprentice or her apprentice. I normally say Chadhammer is a lady. Probably should stick with the lore. Anyways, Planetary is heavily damaged. Did break these towers, which I guess makes it harder. Did he crush a Lurker with that? He might have crushed a Lurker by breaking those rocks. Lings and Lurkers finally gonna get rid of Chadhammer. Those 2 tanks do go down, but The Vipers are so late. The lack of anti-air is really hurting. I think in a game where you've had this much money, I think this anti-air is coming out a bit too late for Reynor. Vipers are also very soft anti-air in that they can wear down the Medivacs over time, but he's going to need to gather energy for a little bit, and Reynor struggling to stay organized under the onslaught of Bunny. I don't think Bunny's really geared up for a long game, so I think Reynor's held on well enough. The 8,000 resource advantage isn't going to matter if Bunny can't defend this gold base, and right now he's struggling to do just that. Things run in the left, the drops will pull back. Bunny's still just chilling on 51 SCVs, guys. This feels like Bunny's stuck in a 3-base all-in, even though he's technically on 5 bases. And Reynor, he's had moments where he has big unit numbers, but he's just not able to take an efficient fight since, like, I don't think this entire game. If he could get one efficient fight, this game swings so hard in Reynor's favor. But Bunny, man, he's really using the map architecture. He's dancing around, and I always feel like it's a bit harder to be the defender than the attacker on new maps. I always feel like Terran players tend to do the best on new maps. Oh, snipes come down on the Queens. Really well played. The exception being Hero regarding new maps. Hero is usually the best player in the world when you give people new maps. Any chaotic environment favors Hero. Nice abducts. There we go. Okay, the Viper's finally adding that anti-air capability, also anti-siege tank capability. The ghost count grows, but I don't really rate the mass ghost late game anymore, guys. 13 ghosts. It's 13 less supply at max out, and yeah, you've got less workers, so you can afford to still have a giant army, but it's definitely not as good as it was back when the Ghost was a 2-supply unit. Of course, having a bunch of Ghosts in the mix is very good, and Reynor, oh, he's got the double Nidus Worm up now. He's going to throw one in the back door of the main. Lurker still sieging this gold, and it feels like Bunny, as this game has slowed down, is a little bit lost in terms of how he's going to be able to finish this. Army on the right side. Abducts coming on the libs. I think one of the Vipers might have gone down. Lurkers. Oh, gosh. The Ghosts walk into those Lurkers a little deep. Here we go. Hydra Link trying to engage. There's no Overseers with this army, but I don't think Cloaks being upgraded for those Ghosts. The Lurkers are still exposed. Marines running into them. Massling on the left side. Very nice move. At the same time, Lurkers pop out of the Nidus Worm behind the natural. Big problems to be dealt with. Bunny is going to have to do some magic right now. He's got to scramble back to his feet very quickly. Tank does take out one Lurker. Oh, those Lurkers. I mean, if they kill the command center, that'd be great. Bunny not lifting that. A bit of a blunder. Link Hydra Lurker will take out the planetary and the gold, though. And as we said, if you can't hold that, how are you going to maintain income with Reynor? Reynor's thrown away a lot of units to do this. This is not cheap. But he's the one with the money. He's got 2,700 minerals, 300 gas in the bank. He's got more gas, has more bases up. His own gold base is mining. Hydra Lurker on the right side gets smashed there, though. Wow! Reynor stumbles into a bad engagement. He looks a little bit, you know, is kind of sucking on his own lips a little bit. You know, when someone kind of goes, and you can kind of see them just pull their mouth in a little bit. And he looks a little bit like, damn it, man. There's a few too many of these moments when he hasn't been watching the fight as it starts. And I think Bunny's pretty screwed, down 47, 46 workers. Reynor might be getting a 2-0 here. It looked like these positions on this map really were a problem for Reynor. But once he was able to withstand them and get in control, now with the Nidus Worms once again poking the back door, it just feels difficult. I wouldn't mind a main attack actually pushing this side. I think if he comes down with just his main Lurker army, Hydras, Lurkers, Vipers, pushes here, abducts the tank, he could clear that out. Cool to see some army rotations from Reynor. Comes in with his Lurkers, crazy forward siege, but worth it. Gets a Ghost. Forces that base to lift. Lings run in the left side, get the tank. Starting to do some big damage there. Wow, another command center goes down without being able to lift. Nidus in the back there, Nidus on the left, Nidus in the right, Lurkers in the front, and Bunny doesn't have what he needs to defend this. It's a rough first round match. Reynor does come in as actually the highest seed in this group, guys. He's had a few fantastic results recently. And is looking very, very good. So Lurker's taking damage. He's going to get some burrows down. Marine Marauder Ghost going to try to deal with it. But you've got a giant army for Bunny. You've got next to no income. Small fights are going to favor the Zerg because he can then remax. The only thing hurting Zerg right now is the supply cap because he's got so many more workers. Tank goes down on that side. Command center in the bottom right. Burrowing Zerglings to make it hard to reclaim that area. Lurkers in the main slowly getting picked off by Ghosts, but ever so slowly. And that just gives Reynor all the time in the world to remax. These small fights in many little areas are what Zerg wants. Terran gets up to 160, 170 army supply, fights one big perfect engagement near the Zerg production. They can push in and win the game. There's no way Reynor's going to let that happen. It looks like Reynor in control of this match. hanging in here. I mean, you never want to give up. Is the opening best of 3. Remember, every single match in this tournament matters. It is PiGFest 6 group stage. If you lose this match, you cannot get first place in the group, which means you will not be getting any second chances in the playoffs. But Reynor, if he can finish this series here, win the next series, he'll get first place, and that would be such a good start to his chances to potentially winning his first PiGFest. He's made it to the finals before against Serral. He's done some magic. Some good burrow banelings throughout. Some really good flanks on some armies. But it was interesting to see this ledge here, as well as this position down here, present very real problems for Reynor in that game. At the end of the day, though, how sick was his Ball of Queens? He delayed this hatchery dying for such a long time, and I think Bunny did pay too big of a price, even though Reynor felt pretty committed to it. He also respread his creep pretty decently, despite the constant aggression. Once those Niduses started going, Bunny just could not keep up. Alright. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We've got ourselves a big match. Dark in the bottom left side of the map, in the red, Astrea in the top right. Is Dark feeding his baby right now? He keeps looking down. Damn, okay, cool. Anyways. Dark here. I mean, it's the early game. Dude, is he texting his wife right now at the start of a tournament? I swear he is. This is amazing. He's gonna go for an early extractor trick. All right, looks like he's actually looking at the screen now. It is going to be a Zerg versus Protoss, guys. Opening match for these two players. We've already seen, of course, the previous match between Reynor and Bunny. Winner of this match will face Reynor for the first place spot. Loser will face Bunny to keep their life alive. It's going to be fascinating to see what Astrea brings out. For those who don't know, that Astrea came out, hadn't played a game in 3 months, absolutely destroyed the qualifiers in a very dominant fashion. And he's looked very good since then. Came out this week in the Weekly Cup, won the Pigstarcraft Monday tournament, defeating Shin and Kua there. So really showing some oomph. He has beaten Dark the last 2 times he played him, which was in October and December, before he did take that 3-month break. So Astrea, you know, recency looking good. Unfortunately, if you look before those 2 wins, Dark beat him the last 9 times in a row before that, and overall has a massively dominant win. Counting how many times Pigga said he didn't play any games the past 3 months, we're at 4 right now. No worries, Reynor. So guys, I've been counting Reynor's number of League of Legends games he's played this week, just so you guys know, and we will be updating you on those in the next cast. Reynor waiting in the winner's match. I've been recording them. I am a stalker. I've been checking your profile, and we're going to be updating you guys with a percentage of which heroes he's picking as well. What can I say, guys? Everyone needs the backstory of the player's preparation for these tournaments. And if Reynor's in the chat throwing out a little bit of shade, he's going to catch some as well. No, it's good. Thank you very much. Well played, by the way, Reynor. Beautiful burrowed baneling. I hope you watched the replay of that from your last series. I said this is not greatly placed because the units, I think, are going to go around the corner and dodge it. And then as I said that, he moved his army to about the most centralized he possibly could have been over those burrowed banelings, and it was one of the biggest burrowed banelings I've seen in a long time. It was beautiful. I was like, I was wrong. Drone, gonna get a nice hatchery up on the 3rd. Adept does start up. Astrea's playing the, no chrono in the 2nd Adept. Go for the Stargate, just chill out. Dark's got his 3rd up. Now, the big question is always with Dark's PvZ, guys. We know his openings are sloppy, not particularly well refined, and he does have a big issue with getting supply blocked. Recently, he's fixed his openings, so he hasn't been hitting 36 supply blocks, but we're going to see if he can make it past 44 and 58. If he gets past both of those without hitting any serious supply block, this one is part of the build. This is actually the optimal way to do it. Then it's going to be really hard for Astrea. Because for those who don't know, you might think, this sounds ridiculous, but Dark is famous for being the best Zerg in the world to have the worst first 4 minutes of a game you've ever seen. It is horrendous in terms of the common mistakes he tends to make. But when he doesn't get supply blocked, he's unbeatable. Like, it's actually unfair. If he didn't get supply blocked and mess up his build so much, this man would have 7 world championships back to back. Dark is a freak. He is the best at bringing out potentially game-winning moves, as Lambo calls it. He says, look, Dark might have an inefficient early game, but Lambo says he has the most potentially game-winning moves he does, and he does them better than anyone else. And I think that's a really good analysis. Adept Micro, pretty good for Astrea, but this looks like it might be a cancel on the 3rd. Probe does help block. No, Oracle comes back, and a little bit of an extra commitment to Zerglings. Does not find the 3rd, but it does at least keep him back. Now, Dark is going to hit that 58 supply block. Still not starting an Overlord. I would say for Dark, this is a pretty light supply block. Not getting blocked till 58. It's the last of those 3 numbers I mentioned. And yeah, it's going to be a full 18, maybe 20-second supply block. This is actually small for Dark. So this is actually good because it means Astrea has a chance. Now, you might think I'm joking. I'm not kidding, guys. When Dark beat Maru in the GSL finals, the last time he won a GSL, he did not get supply blocked in pretty much any of those games. It was like he just practiced his openings for 2 weeks leading up to it, and it was not even close. It was like not fair. We were like, wow, if Dark just played like this every game, like he's actually a freak. He's so good. Queen's gonna defend, but the Oracles do get 2 drones. They take minimal damage, and they take a bit of damage on the Zerglings as well. Oh, take some creep tumors on the way out. Don't want to take too much damage on that Oracle, though. That was a little sloppy for Astrea. Should have used the healthy one to finish those off. Nonetheless, a successful attack for Astrea. Gets himself some light harassment. Forge and Twilight coming in as well, as Dark gears up for the 82 supply block. Now, he's going to be going for quick Hydras, and this is a build Dark does every single game, which is why he's incredibly weak to Glaive Adepts. A lot of the Zergs have been doing this. Rogue was doing the same thing in his series against Zaun in the opening best of 3 in the very first day of PiGFest. And Zaun butchered him with Glaive Adepts. I would not be surprised for Astrea to mix in some Glaives in the next game. The only problem is that Astrea doesn't practice a ton of Glaive Adept openings, so I'm not sure if it's the build that he's most confident in. Roach Warren goes down after the Hydra Den. Looks like Dark thinking about just doing a big old Roach Hydra shove. It's one of those plays that does end up performing pretty well. One Stalker goes down. Queens, nice focus fire on those Stalkers. If you get a few Queens, though, it might be worth for Astrea. The Oracle's exposed, though. And I think he's maybe a little bit deep in Zerg territory. Uh-oh. Stasis Trap comes in. Dark doesn't see it. Does eat a decent Stasis. The Oracles go a little too far forward. Blink still not quite ready. But this has slowed down Dark's droning. And it's most importantly kept him away from a 4th base. This is funneling Dark into a 3-base Roach Hydra all-in setup. It's not a bad attack, but it is something that is a little bit foreshadowed. And Stalker Storm will do well against it. Templar Archives on the way, as well as Charge being added, just for a little bit of harassment utility. Stalkers, of course, all about the micro with the blink. Stalkers are only a good unit if you control them well, and another Stalker does go down. Every Stalker, very, very valuable, very costly. Not units one wants to be throwing away. I think if Astrea masses Storm Stalker on 3 base, he's actually in a good spot. But Dark does take a 4th. Dark's tech incredibly slow in this game in terms of no hive started. No infestation even started, and it's almost 7 minutes. It really feels like... Wait, does he not have +2? He's not making +2. He skips +2. His +1 finished a little while ago. He's prioritizing his other upgrades right now. Man is super committed to +1 range. Roach Hydra all in. Astrea making Storm. He's making a few cannons, batteries, stasis traps. Will he be ready in time? Stalkers pick off a Hydra. Does try to blink back. Oracle going to tag this Hydra army. If you can get the Overseer, it would allow the stasis traps to be bigger, but ooh, not bad. Gets a stasis anyway. And he blinks forward for the Overseer. Great move there for Astrea, because now you're going to be much more worried about running into other stasis traps. Oracle does tag him. Storm, 30 seconds out right now. No 4th base for Astrea. He decides to put one down in the face of imminent danger. He doesn't know how committed this is. Really hard to read how much a Zerg is attacking you. Is there a rally behind this or not? We know there is. We know Dark is 100% committed. Astrea doesn't know that, so he's trying to hedge his bets a little bit. But right now it is all about surviving. High Templar on the right, a little exposed. Those Zealots are kind of funneling in and getting wrecked right now. Stasis Traps not quite getting set off. When he does pull back, those Stasis Traps are going to be big. Nice Zealot warp in to protect those High Templar. You can see Dark tried to focus fire them. Only one Roach slides through. Stasis Traps really helping out. I love the blink to the left as well there. Astrea's defensive setup seems rock solid. Astrea trying to crack through an entrenched fortification. And those Hydras going to be getting focused as well. Whoa, this is looking kind of crazy, guys. Remember our last PiGFest, Dark did not make it through the group stage. That was the first time that's ever happened. And this is his very last tournament before doing his military service. He's really wanting to get himself some victories here, earn some more dollary dues, have a nice send-off performance, because he, of course, is going to have to retire for at least a 1.5 years minimum to complete his military service before he's allowed to compete for money once again. And that is something which, of course, has been hanging over his head for a while. Astrea counterattacking. Is he going too far forward? I don't think so. I think there's enough Stalkers. The Archons, one gets focused down, but Astrea pushes him back there with the Storms. The Stalker micro, good enough. 12 drones are on the way for Dark. He's going to try to transition, but I don't think he can defend this 4th base. Astrea's just going to shove straight across the map, use that advantage. And this is kind of crazy, dude. Hasn't this been Dark's last tournament before military for the last 5 years? Yeah, but they changed the law a few times, guys, and it's actually confirmed now. There's no more legal changes coming in Korea. And that Archon going to get some damage on the right side. Doesn't quite. Oh, one more shot on those drones would have been legendary. That was a situation where I think he could have blinked forward and won the game. But letting the Stalkers heal, wait for some High Templar to come in with more Storm Energy is just a very efficient way to do it. I don't think you're going to be facing Lurkers or anything like that. Dark's going to be fighting down 20 supply, less army supply, no Lurkers, no Spellcasters against Stormstalker Immortal. Fourth base got up in the midst of that, and that was just a textbook, picture-perfect defense. I wonder if Dark should have tried to hit the natural a little bit more there, because attacking this third base, like the way the buildings were placed, the infrastructure, it really felt like it was just so well defended. A second and third Robo goes down, Astrea getting ready for triple Immortal. Remember, Astrea is not a big fan of slow, boring Skytoss games. If he can get ahead, he will try to maul you with Warp Prisms in the back, warping in Zealots and DTs, triple Robo Immortal, flanking your Lurker positions, rather than going for the Tempests. He can play the Tempest game very well. Remember, he took a fantastic map off Serral. Was it Masters Coliseum? I think December last year. He took a fantastic map off Serral on this exact map in the late game with that same Tempest game. Gonna go for the surround is Dark, but the observers see it coming. Zealots down the bottom as well, gonna go after these drones, and it's a desperate attack here for Dark. It's a good idea, but I don't think he has the numbers to pull it off. Astrea only down 30 supply with such higher quality units. Roach Hydra in the middle gets cleaned up. Even if Astrea loses this fourth, he's still in a good spot. This ball coming in to punish Dark. He could arguably blink on top of that. He does indeed, yeah. First storm does not land. Second storm hits 4 Hydras, and the other storms are going to be doing pretty good as well. Some Zealot Warpins would be lovely. They are there already in the main base. He cleans up at home, does massive eco damage. Astrea holds on against the +1. Roach Hydra all in. All right, guys. Nice game one there for Astrea. Got to kind of just play straight up. Didn't have to do anything too fancy. I'd like to see him be experimental in this next game, but he might feel like just playing safe and solid is the way to do it. Because Dark here, I mean, I love Dark, one of my favorite players, but this matchup especially has been a matchup where he's stagnated a little bit in his strategy over the last 5 years. Hasn't really evolved his strategies since about 2020, 2021 maybe, and hasn't, like, you know, adapted his openings or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, he'll change up the way he does like a proxy hatch once in a while, but generally it's the same kind of book of tricks he's been using since then. And I do think a lot of the players at the very top have gotten good enough to know how to deal with him. And they know his range as a player. And he's been especially using a lot of these like just mass Hydra or Roach Hydra attacks in this specific version of the game. So it's just one of those things, guys, where I definitely feel like we want to make sure that you know, Dark has clean, crisp openings and maybe tries to do some of his trickier builds. I think the Roach Hydra all in is one of the more obvious, easier to stop attacks, in my opinion. I think it just hits a bit slower. So I think he's going to throw something much more aggressive at Astrea. Or maybe he'll do what I've been really wishing Dark would do a little bit more of, and rushing Lurk attack. Because it's so surprising coming out of him. But if he does rush Hive, just 1 in 3, 1 in 4 games, it just adds that little bit of extra thing that the Protoss player has to worry about. Speaking of which, Nexus first into 2-gate. Oh, Astrea's looked really good with this recently. My man. Did anyone notice that Astrea and Dark touched their face at the same time? I didn't see that, but it wouldn't surprise me. You got to remember both of these guys. Once you do share a battle... Dude, guys, he's not even counter-microing. Dark is just giving up this mineral patch. Oh, my lord. Dark's main base minerals getting completely wrecked here. Okay, that does go back, but it still means he's now got 3 workers on this patch and only 1 on this one. So he's got these workers are working at lowered efficiency, and there is an open patch here 50% of the time not being utilized. This is the sort of inefficiency that Dark has not really taken the time to fix or adapt to over the last few years. He's also building another Overlord. Oh, he accidentally built 2. Guys, he accidentally built 2 Overlords at the same time. Very sloppy openings for Dark. I really love Dark. He's done so much for the game. But it is going to be hard for him to take down a guy as good as Astrea, even off a few months break, with openings like this. And that's going to be tough. Depths do go back into the main. Astrea not prioritizing going across the map. Wants to just shut these Lings down and get them out of there. He's going to play a bit more conservative. All right, Sentry Stalker comes in as well. King Speed coming on out. Zergling does go down. Probe now rotating around this map. Inject goes down on both of those hatcheries at the same time. 10 more Zerglings are building. Dark was famous a few years ago for being the one Zerg player who could get down 30, 40, 60 supply, sometimes even against Protoss, and was just impossible to put in the ground. He was so good at surviving and fighting back, but Astrea's going to get that Overlord. Oh, Astrea not microing it, and he does let the Overlord escape, I believe. I mean, you can go to the other side. There's not actually enough room to hide this. This map pool in general, it's a little bit harder to hide your units and whatnot. Stalker gets caught in the open, though. Nice move for Dark. And Astrea getting punished a little bit. He's going to have to shade these Adepts out, or at least run them forward. Sentry will man the post on the wall off. It's not in position. Lings can slide past that Sentry. It looks like with the Probe, hold position in front of the Adept. Does end up holding on, and 7 Zerglings go down there. Dark with a great Stalker snipe. 17 Zerglings. More Lings, and now a Roach Warren. Wow, Dark's he's grabbing it. He's just going to smash it, man. Dark is going Ogre Zerg right now, guys. Elegance, what's that? Finesse, so's your face. Roachling, let's go. Yeah, unfortunately for him, Sentry sees it. The whole point of this build is that you don't see it coming, but Astrea, he had energy, he didn't force field. Oh no, Astrea too busy looking at his scouting. He knows he's being all in, but he lets the Lings in. Uh-oh. Let's see how much damage Dark can find. These Lings are trapped in here, but if they kill 6, 7, 8 workers, it's obviously fantastic for him. Does a nice hold position. Astrea with a pull away. Those Adepts in a good position. These probes should run to the natural. Definitely he's got to pull these probes out of here. 5 probes go down, make it 6. He's trying to get on top, make it 7. 7 workers do go down. Pretty darn good damage, but I think he needed to pivot away from the all-in, didn't he? Dark Shrine's on the way. There's no lair building. He sees the Dark Shrine. I don't think it's registered in his brain. He cancels the Dark Shrine! Oh no, Astrea's overthinking it. He's like, oh, there's no way you'd commit to it and you can just make a lair. But the lair's too late. Dark Templar would have defended this. Dark Templar would have defended this third. Canceling the Dark Shrine. Astrea's trying to go 300 IQ. He may have just gone negative 69 IQ. I'm not sure. Then again, there's actually so few roaches. Adepts can hold this on their own, can't they? There's only 4 roaches. I thought there'd be more than that. But there's not. And Dark, when those Lings got in, if he had started droning, I think he could be ahead right now, or at least in a good position. But as it is, he's got mass Zergling and a few roaches. Astrea moves on the map like a mad dog, and he is... Dark says, you know what happens to mad dogs? They get put down. Unfortunately, I don't think he has the necessary apparatus to do so. I mean, he's trying to do a No Country for Old Men, but he forgot to load up his oxygen tank before he got there. In this case, it is the rabid dog that tears apart the guy trying to put it down. The Roach tries to pull back. There's more Zerglings on the right side, but it feels like these fights are terrible for Dark. The Adepts are just doing so well at holding their own, and the Stalkers are backing them up really well. The numbers are not good for Dark here. He's trying to throw the kitchen sink at Astrea, but it's Astrea who is coming out on top here. I told you guys Astrea's look good. He beat Shin, he beat Cure in the middle of the week. He took down Percival and Geralt to qualify for the tournament without breaking a sweat, and now he is here in 3 bases. Robo, Forge, Blink, all there. 3 more gases, taking him to 6 gas. Astrea's got control of this match, and he's going to attack. I think he's ready to run away, but he just knows Dark can't have Roach speed. What can he possibly do against Blink Stalkers? Fighting off creep with slow Roaches against Blink Stalkers is a little bit like trying to fight your dad with a plastic fork as a 6-year-old child. Let's just say it doesn't end well. Hey, Dark, it somehow has killed 2 Stalkers. He kind of won that fight. Dark really is the kind of guy who could beat his dad in a fight when he was 6 years old with a plastic fork, isn't he? The way Dark plays StarCraft, like, man folds up a magazine, jabs you in the throat with it, and you friggin' have a heart attack somehow. Like, he's just holding the high ground and focus firing units. Like, what the heck? Dark is on 46 drones, massing Roach Zergling. He's completely all in. Astrea needs to just mass units. He's only going to 6 gates right now. When Roach speed kicks, if Astrea gets overrun, he could be in big trouble. He doesn't know there's units going around the left. It's just a Roach run by. Astrea, dude, he's actually at like less than half the army supply. Oh, he's going to try and cut off the reinforce, but he needs to build more gateways. He's trying to build cannons right now. They're not ready. He's trying to distract this. I do like the way he's trying to buy time, but he needs to warp in a sentry right now. Oh, no! Dude, Dark is about to do some wizard magic. Oh my god, as opposed to not... Actually, this isn't wizard magic. This is the dark arts. This is dirty warlock magic. This man's summoning demons. If he brings this game back, this is a classic dark comeback. He is meant to be dead. He is so far behind. The Blink Stalkers counter his entire army, but Astrea lets him pass into the wall. Master of the Dark Arts, Lord of House Slytherin is back at it. Severus, Mother Truckin' Dark. What the hell, dude? All right, guys. We've got Astrea in the bottom right, or bottom left, I should say, of this map. Oh, felt like he had the 2-0 pretty much squared away there, but Dark does have 900 lives. He's like, not just a cat, he's like a cat Pokemon. It's evolved to have unlimited lives. Dark is so ridiculous. I mean, that was a really botched early game. And yeah, he basically realized that if you go defensive there, you definitely lose. But if you keep massing units, you can maybe deny Astrea's vision enough to pull one over on him. And it obviously only works if Astrea is far out of position. And Astrea saw part of the army move across the map. But he didn't realize that part of the army had already gone. That's why when those roaches arrived, he didn't even react. Because in his mind, he was tracking the army with the observer. He didn't realize 8 roaches and a bunch of lings had already split off from the main force ahead of time. And that does end up finding very good damage. Now, Astrea's gone for a greedy opening this time. He's gone for a no scout build. Not a bad way to play game 3 against Dark. Dark has gotten away with a hatch gas pool on the natural, though. No getting blocked in this particular scenario. And I got to say, Dark, we always talk about the reason he's so good in scrappy games is because he's never had a good early game in his life. You know, his build orders being not refined means that every game, tournament or otherwise for him, is an especially hard training environment. He never has a game where it's just, oh, you are so ahead because your early game is so crisp and you just like overwhelmed a guy. That very rarely happens for Dark. He overwhelms people because he catches them off guard, he surprises them, and he does the thing that they don't see coming. He's a master of disguising his intent, and that is what he's so good at doing in this matchup. But the fact remains, if he can't get to the 5-minute mark without being crucially behind, then it's very problematic. And that's been what's cursed him in this matchup over the last months, is he's almost always quite far behind going into that point of the game. Now, it looks like he's going to go probably 28 third hatchery here. Oh, did he cancel the Overlord? No. Okay, no, he's going to go for the Overlord a bit more of a normal time. The 25 or 26 over. Didn't build 2 Overlords this time, so a bit of a better opening for him. And it's Twilight Council for Astrea. Now, Twilight Council first is super brave, guys. That is so brave against Dark, but Astrea is the kind of guy who might be crazy and just do a blink all in. You never know. Remember, there is no pillar above the natural these days. You've got pillars out front. I think, you know, becoming standard to just have a pillar with an Overlord on it, seeing everything, probably wasn't the best, I think, for the Terran and Protoss players. We're a bit frustrated with that. It's kind of cool we've got maps that still have good hiding places for Overlords, but they can't see quite as much. You're not going to see that Overlord hide back there. Robo goes down, as well as a 2nd and 3rd gateway. Looks like Glaive Adepts to me. Indeed, there we go. Glaive Adepts does start up, and he's pulled 2 workers off gas. So I think it's going to be a very quick 4-gate Adept. I expect 1 more gateway. Hasn't gone down yet. There we go. 4th gateway is now ready. Roach Horn in the back. Dark knows what he's up against. He does not think this is... He's seen the Stalker. He does not think this is an Oracle opening. Question for me is, does he build a 2nd gas? Because normally 330 Roach Warren is paired with a 2nd gas to make Ravages quickly, but Dark is a man who does things at his own pace, and he is going to take that gas now, so it's a slightly delayed 3 Ravager, but 3 Ravager Mass Circling is one of the best ways to shut down a Glaive Adept opening. So the idea for Dark is he's going to engage with the Ravages, and then surround with the Lings, and if he can hold you in place and land Corrosive Biles, the Adepts will get hammered. Already, 5 Adepts coming forwards. And the first scout for Dark comes out. Dark already knew what he was playing against, though. He already had the read. He's kind of playing with the assumption. He's making 2 spores here. Probe does hide out the left. Ling is ready to deny that 3rd, though. This is going to be 9 Adepts very early in this game. And I think he should commit to the Shade, honestly. I think he should commit. He's going to go for it. Yeah, the Lings are not a match for that. Good pullback by Dark so far. These Adepts, are they going to fight the Roaches? I don't think they should. I think they should force the fight with the Lings by going towards the drones. Those Lings will get slaughtered. And the Adepts, do they shade away? They do. He warps 4 Adepts in the main, but he's going to lose the Prism. And that is not good for Astrea. That Prism, an incredibly expensive unit. I think he was planning to do a 4-gate Glaive Adept Immortal attack follow-up. He's only focused down 2 drones. He's wrecking the Zerglings in the head-to-head. But having lost the Prism and a lot of these Adepts being damaged, only taking out a handful of drones, it feels like he's a bit overly committed. Third Nexus does start up behind this. Can these Adepts do damage? He's getting chased back here. And he should probably turn to kill the Zergling. Maybe could focus a Roach down as well, but good pullback for Dark. Single Zergling harassing the third base. Those attack notifications do get a bit stressful. And Astrea may be feeling the pressure. It's a bigger tournament, it's a bigger match. And it is also, remember, 4:48 a.m. for him. San Diego time. This tournament is at a very bad time for our American players. So we'll see how we go here. Roaches coming forwards. Hatchery up north for Dark. He's going to take a 4th base, start droning. It does feel like he should be able to run away with the economy shortly. See if these Adepts can slow him down. Ravager Bane. Okay, Ravager Bane is going to be a very good style against like a Sentry Immortal follow-up, which is usually a very common follow-up after this sort of opening. Now, 2 Adepts go in the natural. That's where the drone kills. 5, 6. Very, very clean. He's going to get 7. Dude, 7 drones for 2 Adepts. Great trade there. More of that for Astrea. We'll keep him alive. Dark. Looks like Ravager Bane's the choice. 2 Immortals coming out. Oh, he's following up with the Immortal Adept attack, is Astrea. He's committing pretty hard, but Dark is playing safe. Gets the Observer. And Dark is still massing Roaches, which is the right thing to do. He doesn't have Roach speed. So those Immortals will chop them apart. 2 Adepts hiding up north. Overlord sees it, though. Roaches are there, ready to deal. Roach speed has not started. Immortals are coming forwards. The Overlord sees it. The Immortals have to take the long way around. Prism is very delayed due to that early Prism going down. Stalker's going to rally up the left and get itself killed. The Adept Immortal trying to push forwards. Astrea's got a Robo Bay behind this. He's thinking of going Colossus. Maybe Disruptor's behind it. Oh, 2 Adepts in the natural. Nice move. We'll take out 3 or 4 drones at least. Very good shift click. Does take out 7. My lord, Glaive Adepts are good, aren't they? But he's got to get out of here. Astrea needs to back away right now. He does not have an intimidating army right now. Cancels the Shade, and he's swapping to a more of a harassment mode with the Warp Prism, I think. Stalkers are starting to warp in. No blink just yet. 61 probes for Astrea. Dark's only on 58, which is not a good worker count, but it just feels like with the 4th hatchery available, he can transfer workers from the main as it mines out. At any moment, he could build another 15, 20 workers. But for Astrea, where's his tech? Like, his Forge is just there. His blink isn't even finished. One has to wonder. I think he has to find more damage. So the Prism distracts. The Adepts are going to walk in. Great move. Would have been good if he shaded a little bit earlier. Still good micro. The Immortals drop on this side. Takes out a bit of damage on the Roaches. Takes a few of them. But the Adepts not being micro there as he was focused on the Prisms. The Adepts do go down. Could have killed maybe another 3 or 4 if he microed it just right. Does rally a new Observer forward to clear up the creep. Dark does not care about this. Dark's going all in on Ravagerling Bane. Colossus is building. It is Colossus, not Disruptor. I think there's an argument that Disruptor is maybe the better unit, but I mean, they don't one-shot Roaches and Ravagers anymore. So no, I think you got to go Colossus here. No sentries? Yeah, no sentries is going to be a problem. I mean, obviously sentries aren't amazing against Ravagers, but I do think it would help out. Recalls the Prism home. He's going to go unload those Immortals and set up for the defense. I think Astrea knows that Dark wants to pounce, and he's got a semi-wall here. But I think he's going to have to run the probes out of this base. He's so outnumbered. Glaive Adepts will help against the Zerglings. The Immortals are unloading. Where are those Immortals, guys? Oh, he left them down here. Oh, no, Astrea left his Immortals out. He's trying to make sentries. His first Colossus has popped out of the Robo. It's going to be coming south. He's going to refill. And a nice pickup there, but his Natural's getting breached. That's a big problem for him. No sentry in the natural. Lings are inside his base. His army's getting jumped on by the Banes. Lings are inside. Where is that Colossus? His Colossus can't pop out. It's stuck. There's no room for the Colossus to spawn. I was wondering, where the hell was that Colossus? Oh, no. I mean, I don't know if it would have made a difference, but I was like, dude, didn't this Colossus finish like 30 seconds ago? Oh, my gosh, if we go back, the Colossus finished a while ago. It was when Dark first arrived up there at that base. He chronos it, but the building placement. So it's literally the first time he poked in. The Colossus could have been out and another one halfway finished. Oh, that's so frustrating. Oh, unfortunate there for Astrea, but a great comeback for Dark in this series. All right, ladies and gentlemen. 2 fantastic players. Astrea in the bottom left side, Bunny in the top left, and they're fighting for their life in Group D. Oh, tragic for both these players. Bunny played really good StarCraft, but Reynor was a bit too much for him. Astrea had Dark dead to rights, and Dark did Dark things and pulled one over on him. Very, very well played. Now, keep in mind, guys, this is Persephone. We've got a healing shrine with the air chastity belt. Air units cannot get in here. Everything else can. And it will heal 10 life per tick, which I think is 10 life a second. It's a very fast healing for small units. Takes a while to heal up the bigger units, but that's fantastic for Stalkers, Adepts, Protoss units especially that normally can't heal. Whereas Terran, you got Medivacs, you got Repair. It's not as useful, but it still can be very nice, right? Liberator gets damaged, you get it out of there. You just fly, well, not a Liberator, sorry. Doesn't work for air units, but like a Cyclone or a Hellion can definitely be really nice. The one on Torches, which keeps getting vetoed by everyone, does not have an air blocker. And it's also on the left side of the map, which is a little bit closer to where some of the action happens. So Torches is the map which, unfortunately, the pros keep vetoing. Otherwise, we would see some really cool strategies. See Oracles and BCs and stuff healing up in there. Going to be a Reaper Expand. 1-Rax Reaper Expand. No Scout for Bunny. Very straight up standard opening. Astrea has gone Nexus before Cybercore, and he gets away with it, which I love to see. Because notice, when you go for that early Nexus, not only can you get your second gas before your second pylon, you also are going to have places for these probes to mine from, if you're willing to send it to the natural. Looks like this probe might get caught on the way back. Reaper's coming in. Get to safety. Hide, boy. Hide. Oh, the Reaper goes right. Looks like that is going to protect it. These 3 probes waiting for their escort. They're like, is it safe, Dad? Can we go? The Stalker's like, yes, I chased the Reaper away. You can go mine from the natural now. That was adorable. I don't think I've seen someone stack the 3 probes like that. Just like, they're like, wait there, wait, boys. Okay, it's safe to cross. Truly felt like the Stalker was the mama duck there, waiting for the babies. None of them managed to fall down a storm drain or anything like that, which is good. For Protoss fans, anyway. Maybe not for the Terran. Bunny's got Barracks Factory Starport going up. Keep in mind, if you're watching this and you're expecting professional commentary, you're not going to get it. I am friends with Astrea, and I know him a lot closer than I know Bunny. I will inevitably be a bit biased in his favor and a bit more going, oh, I will cheer for him at some points. But I'll try my best to obviously be as balanced as I can, but just a heads up, there will be moments where I'm unashamedly shouting for him. To be fair, I do tend to pivot to basically cheering for whoever's getting walloped in a series, whoever's the bigger underdog. And I really have no idea who's the bigger underdog. I feel like with recent performances, Astrea might be a big favorite here. It seems weird to say that though, because Bunny looks so good at moments. Like it just I don't know how they match up stylistically. It really depends to how they match up. And catches the probe trying to cross the road there. Well, good blocking. Super worth. Losing a probe, but getting the Reaper, I think you're always happy with that as the Protoss. And Bunny leaves his Hellion here. Oh my gosh, he gets the Hellion as well. Very nice. Great start for Astrea. Now Astrea's going to go back, refill that sentry with energy, I would imagine, and go for a little scouty scout, but he's being chronoing like mad, so he doesn't actually have any energy just yet. The Medevac's coming over. It's a 2 mine drop. Hallucination is meant to shut this down because they can see where it comes from. But even just with 4 Stalkers available, I don't think the 2 mine drop's going to do a lot. I'm not the big fan of the mine drop at the moment these days. See how we go. Stalkers are there, and Bunny should turn around. He's going to commit. Well, that's a dead Medevac 100%, but Astrea does wait a bit too long on pulling his probes. And perfect spreadies. Wow, complete shutdown on this early game. And I was saying I'm not sure how their style's going to match up, but I don't know. Bunny's playing really standard right now, and I don't think standard is a good way to play against Astrea. Astrea is a master of shutting you down with just what he needs. And look at this, guys. That's a very quick third. That is a 4-minute third base, but he's also got a Robo and 4 gases, which means he's going to have quick economy and quick Colossus, and he's shut down your pressure. This is a Terran's worst nightmare. Not only that, he's still able to do a blink in the main. Now, he shouldn't blink in there. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's too many Marines. If it was just the Marines, he could take it, but obviously not with the tank behind. His best bet is running in here, focusing down gas SCVs and maybe the depot builder, and just blinking back the weak ones. But once that tank siege is up, that'll put that to rest. And it's good for Astrea to just chill. Yeah, he shouldn't even try. He's going to shade in there. The Adept does need to click on the Reddit point SCV. Looks like he manages to take it out. Gets 2 SCVs, which is fine for an Adept. And the Stalkers are just going to chill. Raven comes into the back. Very nice. Now, the answer to this is to just pull away your probes and then make a shield battery. He decides to not pull away the probes, and that's interesting. There's an argument. He didn't focus fire with the auto turret. He only got 3. Should have killed 4 there. There's an argument that if you pull, you still lose 2 to 3 workers, and you lose mining as well. So it's sometimes better to not pull workers, and I love that Astrea is one of the few guys who has actually thought about that. But without a shield battery, 1 Stalker will not be enough to defend it. You do need a 2nd Stalker as well. 2 Stalkers can do really good damage. It is now 5:11 a.m., guys. Astrea, of course, has been playing from a 4 a.m. start time. Oh, he baits him! By sieging it so close, he baits Bunny to unload those Marines. Colossus is already halfway done. This is a real big problem. And he's going 7-gate charge. Dude, if Astrea, in 1 minute from now, Astrea is like untouchable in this game. Goes forward, focuses a Marauder. Good pickup. I like the way Bunny waited for the 2nd volley to fire there. Zealot comes in. Looks like he's going to counterattack with a single Zealot, perhaps. 1 Marine goes down. Tank has 7 range, Marauders have 6. So you don't want to fight against the Marauders and tanks. You only want to fight against the Marines. So Bunny shuffles his units really nicely. Arguably, though, that tank's exposed, and if you get a full Stalker volley on that tank, when the Medevac's nowhere near, that could be really effective. Almost gets a Marauder, but not quite. That Raven's going to make things stressful. It's going to come drop some auto turrets. There's a Colossus. The army's very small for Astrea. He really wants to bait some stims right now. Hasn't been able to. He's got a Guardian Shield. There we go. Baits a stim. The moment you stim, he's happy to chill a little bit, but he wants those tanks. Oh, the Stalkers blink forward. They're going to take out a Medevac. Those Stalkers are deep in the red. Colossus goes forward, gets a few Marines. Wow, this is really, really crazy from Astrea the way he's moving forward, but those Marauders are now very, very weak. Does go a bit far forward, though, and his Stalkers have been rinsed. Units lost tab is in favor. I love that Astrea, slowing the push down, he realizes, look, you probably can't kill me right now, but you can still hang around and be annoying. If I counter you with Zealots, you're in trouble. Bunny's 3rd base is exposed. If that dies to these Zealots, it is a nightmare for him in this game. He's going to keep pushing. Astrea's lost track of the army. Where are his observers? He's left. He's building a new one, but it's not ready right now. He does have 2 Colossus. They're not there. Zealots cancel the 3rd base. Beautiful move for Astrea. That's terrible for Bunny. Bunny, I think, needs to get out of it. He needs to unsiege, save these tanks, and then basically do a giant all-in. Because if he loses this army, he is in huge, huge trouble. Marauders try to catch the Colossus when Astrea wasn't looking, but he energy recharges the battery, keeps it alive just barely, takes big damage. This is an easy hold for Astrea if he moves now. Okay, he's going to send 1 Zealot in front to try and take that first volley. Bunny clicks on the Nexus. He gets it. He does get the Nexus. Astrea waits too long to clean it up. A mistake for Astrea. Just waiting a few seconds too long. He's going to plop that 3rd back down. And I think Bunny getting so many units out there is actually really nice. This time he does pull the probes away. Only wants to lose 2. These Stalkers can hunt these Medevacs down. If he can catch them here, he could still get big kills. You can see, though, Bunny... Oh, he's not unloading yet. His army at home's very small. Zealots will catch the Widow Mines before they burrow. Only 1 goes down, though. And, oh, those Widow Mines hurt. 4 Widow Mines do die, though. And the Bio Army getting ready to flank this. Only 1 Colossus is here. The other one, I guess, went down. I didn't realize the Colossus went down in that battle, guys. Must have targeted it. Did you guys see the Colossus die in that battle? How did it... I thought the tanks died so quickly and they were killing the Nexus. That's crazy. He didn't accidentally... Oh, it was a Widow Mine got it. Oh, it was a Widow Mine got it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was real confused there. Thank you, Twitch chat. I was like, how did that go down? What? Raven's still hanging in the back door right now. Templar Archive's on the way, but Astrea, you know, I think he should have dropped a 4th. Oh, the Zealot doesn't see the double drop. This is really sneaky. Astrea doesn't have the vision there. He needs a pylon out on this left flank. It's only 2 base Terran, which is really bad for him, but I think Astrea is actually, like, if this drop gets some damage, the Raven kills another few probes, I think Bunny can just keep him occupied and drag his way back in a longer game. Or go for a big 1-1 Ghost Bio Viking all-in. Armor's on the way for Astrea now as well. I do like that upgrade choice. Raven's coming back. Sneaks out of the main. 4th base goes up in the bottom right. Raven has killed 15 probes this game, guys. It's basically the entirety of Bunny's economic damage. 2nd Forge coming in for Astrea. He's chilling on 60 probes. He's adding a few more. And a 2nd Robo and more gases. Oh, Astrea's investing in a lot of things right now. It'll be good in a few minutes, but I don't know if Bunny's going to give him that time. Oh, no! Storm's not ready! Storm's not ready! Oh, this is a disaster! It's a disaster, mate! Astrea not going to be able to get in there. Feedback would be really good on one of these, but oh, man, the Zealots finally get through. He's losing so many Stalkers. This is so bad for Astrea. But he does kill a lot of Bio there. Arguably not the worst trade. The front, Colossus gets jumped on. Storm, not going to be part of this. Archons are exposed, and dude, Bunny, what a legend. He had the worst start you could possibly have, but he is going to find a way back into this game. Wow, 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 wow. Astrea with an excellent start, but that's going to be rough as Bunny claws it back. I just want to see that Colossus die. This is a very cute move by Bunny. He didn't actually lose any Marauders for that either. Is this Widow Mine up top? Right. Oh, that's rough. Did he lose his Robo? It's weird that he stopped building Colossus, right, guys? I think he was basically thinking like, oh, you're going to go heavy Viking, so I don't want to build Colossus. But maybe he was overthinking it. Because like he does build a few Vikings, and I guess they're not as useful, but yeah. Dude, denying the third base twice, Bunny's like stuck on 55 worker 2 base. Such an awkward spot, but gets the storm, and that's huge. GG. All right, guys. Wow, we're actually finally going to have Last Fantasy not get vetoed. Bunny in the bottom, Astrea up the top. I think this map is amazing for 4-gate blink on the base version of the game. This is the new ladder edition, which has a forest over here blocking the ledge, guys. And that's going to be big. Number one. Number two, 4-gate blink is not Astrea's forte. Still some decent harassment. I mean, it's still a lot of area to cover. 4-gate blink's still good. You can blink from here to here, or you can do it here or here. And remember the natural. Sorry, I was running out of mousepad space here because there's so much space to cover. Stalkers can blink across there. I'm not sure how easy it is to blink across. Can you only blink one at a time? Do you have to shift click them? Probably. But it's a lot of space to cover for Terran. So blink aggression can be nice. It's also just big and the bases are spread out. So something like Phoenix Zealot could absolutely smash here as well. All right, we've got Barracks Gas coming up. And Astrea is going to scout in his direction immediately. Now, of course, no way for Bunny to know where this probe came from. So he's going to have to guess which direction to send his Reaper if he doesn't go out with an SCV. It's so good to have some three-player maps, a three-player map back in the pool. I would love to see some 4-player maps as well. You know, I think there was a lot of people complaining about randomness, myself included, with scouting cheeses and things, and I think it's fine. I think it's fine for us to get 3-4 maps in the pool. Get a couple in, and then we can reassess after a few months of playing on them. It's been a long time. I believe Last Fantasy's in the ladder map pool as well, since this is the ladder version. Yeah. Alright, we've got the Nexus over there. We've got a Cybercore as well. Reaper into Marine, and the Reaper. Oh, he picks the right direction. I wonder if Astrea just clicked home, that kind of gave it away. If he tried to pretend to go to the right, he should have pretended to go to the right, and then maybe Bunny would have gone in that direction, thinking he's going home there. Ooh, Adept does get bounced. Shouldn't be able to get any kills, though. Oh, Bunny. What the heck? He's going to lose that. Oh, I guess there's only one Reaper ledge. Even though it's really good for Blink, this map actually sucks for Reapers, guys. You'd think it would be good, but you can't jump there. You can only jump there. It's a great start for Astrea. He dominated the early game of game 1 and still lost, which means he's going to get dumpstered unless he crushes the early game. That's not how it works. Obviously, I know that's a thought that might cross people's minds. Astrea knows he made some doo-doos in that game. The third Nexus should never have been sniped. He should have engaged a little bit earlier there. And walking a Colossus into a Widow Mine hurts. And then leaving his left side open, you know, not having a pylon on the edge, just relying on a single Zealot. Losing Storm just before it finished. I mean, it's a series of tragic things for Astrea. Let's see what he can do now. I think the two Adepts actually do really well here. Oh, good micro by Bunny, though. Bunny doesn't lose any units. Gets a bit of damage on the Adepts. Well done. I mean, you don't lose units as Astrea. It's not the end of the world. Just hats off to Bunny for his execution as he sneaks a Hellion out. And Astrea, my man! Finally we see an Astrea build. He's played kind of normie today, guys. And I've been like, where's Troll Man, North American, President of the Clown College, Astrea? Finally, he's back. There is no reason for a drop to ever go past here. There's so much room to go around the right side without ever going here. So this is a fantastic hiding spot. And he's going to go, essentially this is 2-gate third nexus with no tech. And sentries to scout. Fantastic opening. Fantastic opening. Chat says, is this SOS or Astrea? I mean, keep in mind, guys, Astrea has done more proxy nexus strategies than SOS. Astrea retired Trap at Katowice, beat him with a proxy nexus in his main base. So it was a proxy nexus cannon rush, wasn't it, at Katowice? Right before Trap went to the military. It was, and it knocked him out of the tournament. It was crazy. Oh! Don't attack! No! The crazy... Oh, Astrea pulls very late. But that's fine. Only loses 3 probes. That's fine. Dude, when I see people attack Widow Mines with probes, it's like running up to your opponent as they're loading their gun, punching the barrel of their gun, and then quickly running away. Like, I get it sends a message, but also I'm not sure if it's advisable. I feel like just running and hiding without running up to them and punching their barrel of their gun, probably a good move. Definitely not advisable for people who don't trust their speed. If you're a pro gamer, I understand. You want to get a bit of damage in. This always gives me a bit of a heart attack, doesn't it? Stalker sentry on the front. And seeing no third base, I think Bunny's going to think, okay, this might be 4-gate blink. This is probably 3-gate blink. But does he realize this is actually no Twilight? Oh! Actually, sorry. No, he does have blink. Sorry. My bad. Having a bit of a brain fart there. I'm like, how did he afford Twilight blink at a good time and have a third up? He's like, my name's Astrea. I am good at StarCraft. I'm like, yeah, all right. All right. Big supply block, though. Pretty big supply block there. Notice his main's undersaturated. So he recalled from his main over to that third base. Forge comes in now. He's delaying charge a fair bit, and I think that's a good call for Astrea. He could probably click it about now, just to make sure it's ready for the first stim push. Oh, another Widow Mine drop. These are the same 2 Widow Mines from earlier. Units lost tab is good for Astrea. You can see he's taken out a bunch of units. Oh, is this queued over? Where is he sending this? Oh my gosh. He's going to see it. He's going to see the base. Oh, you're kidding me. He's so safe with this drop, trying to make sure he doesn't get intercepted by stalkers, that he's going to go... He's clicked here. If he changes the angle of it, then it won't see the base. But if it goes there, I think it barely sees the pylon. It's so close to seeing it. He sees it. Oh, he sees the pylon. Will he think it's a base, though? He might just think it's a proxy, and he's distracted by stalkers at the same time. One stalker goes down for 1 Marine on the front. He goes back. He sees it. And Bunny. Oh, he realizes Astrea's being a naughty boy. This is bad for Astrea. This build, it's a big gamble. And this basically makes it not worth it for the most part. Oh, and a double drop's coming. Astrea has not spotted it. Now, you can try to defend this with stalkers on the edge, with warpins, and with the recall being available in 10 seconds. It's not ready just yet, but it will be soon. Stalkers are here. Bunny's going to commit. Charge is not ready. If he recalls, then this could get punished pretty hard by Astrea. But as it is, he only gets 1 medevac. His probe's getting jumped on. Recall's available, but I don't think he's willing to use it. His army does come up here. Maybe he is, actually. He could recall the Zealots on top. Stalkers go after the medevac. They do good damage. Zealots come in with a warp in as well. Stalkers blink back. Probes go back to mining. The medevacs are gone, but at the same time... Oh, look at that. 16 workers going down, 17. Auto turrets in the back. Widow Mines in the main. Yes, the army gets cleaned up on the other side, but Bunny sends in with a twister and gets massive damage. Astrea, his jaw is completely dislocated at this point. He's very good at taking a punch, but dude, I don't know if anyone can take that punch. I mean, that was beautiful. Raven, how many kills did it get? 9 kills! He must have come in with 2 or 3 auto turrets. That was a lot of damage. 2 or 3 auto turrets at least to get 9 probes. That is massive, massive damage. No probing for Astrea right now. He's just making army because he figures, hey, Bunny's going to come with another wave. The hallucinated Colossus gets caught out. He stims his whole army to kill it. But it was, of course, a fake, right? Wait, wasn't that blue? Was that not a hallucination? I'm so confused. Why did that look blue? Okay, Stalker's trying to pull back there. The bio going after these units as well. It was real. It fell apart like a real Colossus. It was a real Colossus. Oh, no. The Stalkers are going to blink on top of the tanks. The Zealots are crushing this army. But Astrea's economy is in the dumpster and the Medivacs escape. Now remember, you can't properly escape on this map because there's these air blockers around the edge of Last Fantasy. Raven's thinking about coming back in for some more harassment. The army's not here, which means these stalkers, yes, they'll chase down the Medivac and force the unload, but it does mean you lose some stalkers as well. One Medivac does go down. Like I said, you can't properly hide. There's no dead space on this map, which I really like. We don't have enough maps like this. Most maps are just like, hey, you can always hide wherever you want on the edge of the map unless you have air units. But it's kind of good to have a map where that dynamic is changed. Now these stalkers are ready and they are able to shoot this down. The stalkers blink to the low ground, but the bio's right there. Our probes are getting owned, shouts Diva into the ear of Astrea. You may have heard that. That's right, guys. Astrea and Shin are the two pro gamers with the highest testosterone of all pro gamers. They both play with the Diva voice pack, realizing it's the only thing that can make you more manly than their skills at StarCraft already do make them. Some would say, how do you play with the shrill sound of her voice in your ears? That sounds frustrating and annoying. They say, mate, I'm a man. Pylons are going down there. This is a great play by Bunny. Bunny just playing so good here. I think Astrea brought out some good strats. We're seeing that Bunny is in form. I mean, no matter what happens, in the early stages, he's got a next step and a next step and a next step. And the fact that Widow Mine drop saw that base, tragic for Astrea. I think this would have been an excellent play if that went even 2 or 3 more minutes without being noticed. Colossus comes forward, no extend. Oh, he does have extended thermal lance, but he goes very far forward. Astrea knows he needs game-ending damage now, but of course, Bunny has too much. Dude, a great run for Astrea, a surprise qualifier on his first day back after a bit of a break. And he played well, but Bunny, terrible start to the series. A terrible start against Reynor, and he shows his mettle, comes back and gets a 2-0 when he was super screwed in game 1. Well played, Bunny. Big congrats, Bunny. That was a really fun series. I think game 1 started very bad for you, but you fought back from behind. How did you feel after your first attacks got shut down in game 1?
일단 이재선 선수 승리 축하드리고요. 일단은 이번 경기부터 일단 얘기를 해볼게요. 사실 첫 세트 때도 그 첫 공격이 완벽하게 좀 막힌 이후로 되게 경기 힘들게 진행이 됐었는데 그래도 좀 승리를 하셨잖아요. 좀 어떤 마음가짐으로 좀 경기를 하셨나요?
요즘 혹시 제 말 들리나요?
네네네.
네. 요즘 프로토스전이 힘들어가지고 좀 요즘 또 대회에서 좀 잘 안 돼가지고 좀 쉽지 않을 것 같았는데 그래도 이제 요즘 연습을 좀 많이 해놨어가지고 기본기가 좀 괜찮았어가지고 뭐 실수만 안 하면 이길 수 있다고 생각해서 이긴 것 같아요.
So yeah, overall I struggled in TVP recently, so I stumble a lot there, I think. But in my mind, I always thought that if I can do my things, if I just can stick to my guns properly without any mistakes, then I still can manage to win it, and I think I did.
All right, awesome. And I think you did really well. The second game, I think, very sneaky strategy from Astrea. Were you shocked when you saw the Nexus?
그 두 번째 맵에서는 이제 아스트레아 선수의 몰멀이 있었는데 좀 그 몰멀 발견하고서 좀 많이 놀라셨나요? 좀 충격을 좀 받으셨는지.
근데 좀 게임하면서 이거 100% 몰머리다 생각했거든요. 그 마인드락 갔을 때 가스도 4가스, 그러니까 가스밖에 안 파고 있었고 멀티도 되게 느려가지고 4차간 전멸 추적자 올인 아니면은 몰래 멀티 설마 하고 있나 했는데 그래서 좀 의료선 일부러 좀 살려와가지고 좀 그쪽으로 보냈는데 있어가지고 나 감이 괜찮네 오늘 그냥 이렇게 해서 좀 웃겼어요.
I mean, actually, I didn't. I thought of it because he only had 2 gases, so either it's gonna be like 4-gate blink all in, or he would have another base. So I deliberately sent that medevac with 2 mines into that base because I thought I was suspicious about him getting another pocket bases, another hidden bases. So yeah, I think after I saw that pylon, yeah, I still got it.
That's a next level raid. That's such a crazy raid. Sorry, I know that's not a question. That's just insane. I'm just like, what the hell, dude? That's impressive.
All good, all good.
Yeah, no, that's so awesome, dude. Against Reynor played very good. Do you think he expected your strategies?
이제 레이너 선수의 첫 경기에서는 레이너 선수가 좀 이재선 선수의 수를 좀 많이 읽은 것 같다라는 좀 느낌이 좀 들었거든요. 좀 어떻게 보셨나요?
좀, 그, 리그 대회만 하면 좀 긴장되더라고요. 그래서 좀 긴장해가지고, 원래 더 잘할 수 있는데, 손이 떨려가지고, 컨트롤이 안 되더라고요.
아,
그래서 진 거라서, 제가 또 만나면은 또 이길 수도 있다 생각하고, 열심히 하려고요.
I mean, not really, because overall, I think I lost because I was too nervous. I don't know why, but I get too nervous when it comes to Pigsty Festival. Like, not like I don't get this nervous on the other tournaments. It's just like I'm getting this nervous on only on Pigsty. Yeah, I think my micro wasn't that good because I was so nervous. So if I just can calm my mind and try to focus more and try to focus on my micro, I think I'll improve.
Awesome. Well, these were really good games. I think a very good rally after bad first series, and then obviously a rough start to game one against Astrea, but then it was just really good, dominant. Congratulations! I'm glad to see your mojo, your energy is growing. So we look forward to seeing you in the decider match against the loser of Reynor and Dark. So 감사합니다. Thank you very much, and good luck in the next round.
Thank you.